The game-winning shot against Denver in December. He follows that up in March with a terrific performance against Sacramento. And then in the playoffs, we saw it in Game 5, the elimination game against Houston. He was magnificent with 31 points and 10 assists. And then arguably his greatest playoff game of all time, Game 4 against San Antonio, 42 points, 15 of 27 field goals. So he, obviously, all eyes will be on him tonight. And Shaq, we'll probably see the hack of Shaq tonight. Most free throws he's ever attempted in a playoff game, 39. We might see him break that record tonight.
Yes, no hesitation on the part of Flip Saunders in putting Shaquille O'Neal at the line. Czar, as for the T-Wolves, Sam Cassell will be a game-time decision, still bothered by the sore back and the sore hip. In talking with Minnesota head coach Flip Saunders, he said they must get more from Kevin Garnett. Now, you look at the stat line, and it's pretty good the other night. However, he managed only one field goal in the last 21 minutes of play.
The league's MVP has been a workhorse in this series. He's averaging almost 43 minutes per game. And while he leads his team in almost every statistical category, he has yet to have that huge performance like he did in Game 7 against Sacramento, where he scored 32 points, had 21 rebounds, and 5 blocked shots. And as good as he's been, when you go back and look at the stat lines between Games 2 and Game 3, you can see that although they look pretty close to one another, the difference comes from the supporting cast. 41 points off the bench, which was a plus 17 in Game 2 in a victory. In Game 3, a differential of just plus 8. So for Minnesota to even this series up tonight, it may take a spectacular performance from KG and the bench doing its job to get a win.
And as you can see behind us, always a late arriving crowd here at Staples in LA. They are still filing in as we get ready. It's the Lakers and the T-Wolves. Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. The Minnesota Timberwolves, Sam Cassell will not start. Derek Martin will get the start. Trent Hassel at the other guard. Latrell Sprewell, Kevin Garnett, and Irvin Johnson on the front line. And here are the Lakers, Gary Payton, Kobe Bryant in the backcourt. Kevin George, who had a big game the other night with Karl Malone, and Shaquille O'Neal. The officials, Jack Lease, Bernie Fryer, and Mike Callahan. And there is Kobe Bryant, who made it back from the court hearing in Eagle, Colorado. A hearing that began at 7:30 this morning. And we're ready for game number 4. Lakers leading this series 2-1. Gamers with the Bulls. Started 53 games last season. Here is O'Neal. Nice spin by Shaq.
Has been a mystery to many. I talked to several team doctors today, and what I concluded and what learning from them is, 1, he has the mental capacity to departmentalize. That means focus on the task at hand without being distracted. And secondly, physically, his brain has been able to tell his adrenal glands to provide the hormone whenever he needs that extra surge of energy. It's a combination we often see in firefighters, also policemen, and our armed forces. Cheryl?
Craig Flip Saunders said the reason that he decided not to start Sam Cassell was based on watching him struggle in the last game. He said physically, Cassell just simply couldn't do the things we needed him to do. Right now, the team's main focus is to get the all-star point guard ready for Saturday.
Play more minutes, and he certainly has responded. Payton with the lefty layup. Serbiak has been huge for them, making big shots and from behind the three-point line.
At one point the other night, he scored 14 straight points for the T-Wolves. He was 6 of 12, 21 points, 19 of the 21 in the fourth quarter. Here's Sprewell. He's been off on the back tap, able to keep it alive. Nice play. And Latrell Sprewell extends to a 3-point Minnesota lead.
And you can even see Wally Zerbiak up the floor trying to put some pressure on Gary Payton. If the Lakers are going to run a lot of triangle offense, they need a lot of time on the shot clock to do it. It's very much of a rhythm offense.
O'Neal, that will not count. Foul before the shot attempt. And foul on Oliver Candy. Well, TNT and HD is now available. Catch all the drama of the NBA in high definition. That's TNT and HD high definition.
Here's your zone right there. Lakers now have to attack the Minnesota zone.
Nice entry pass. Malone from Payton. So the T-Wolves lead by 1. Saunders both tied to the CBA. Phil coaching the Albany Patroons in the 80s. Patroons won the CBA title in 1984. Phil coach of the year in 85. And Flip Saunders with the very nice looking blue vest coached the lacrosse Catbirds from 89 through 94. Catbirds won the CBA title in 1990 and 1992, and Flip was a 2-time coach of the year. We were talking earlier with Flip about his days in the CBA, and I asked him what he remembered most. He said, well, it was $10 per day per diem.
Well, you know, the thing I think it's really given him a perspective on as well, Marv, is injuries. In the CBA, when you lose players, normally it's your best players who are called up. We saw in game 2, Cassell, only 43 seconds. He comes in with Derek Martin. Said, never make an excuse for injuries. You just play. And he said, I feel like that my CBA training really helped me focus in on that.
Besides the $10 a day per diem, he loved the hotels. Remember the night that somebody turned on their heater and the room caught on fire? And then he realized that when you got to the playoffs, the checks stopped coming, but you still had a coach for the rest of the playoffs.
But he said there was great come-around in the CBA. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in this first quarter. Minnesota by 6. Springwell rebounded by O'Neal. Rick Fox has checked in for the first time. Derek Fisher now working the point. Fisher and Bryant in the backcourt. Here is Fisher's first attempt.
Doug, you mentioned that they have gone back to running a little more of the triangle last game, and again now we've seen more baskets come off the triangle offense than we had in games 1 and 2.
Garnett. Kevin Garnett, first field goal.
Got only 1 shot in 17 minutes in game 3. Yesterday, Flip had him hold his hand up, and he said, I want to introduce you. This is Fred Hoiberg. He's on our team. Please pass him the ball.
Well, Fred among the leaders during the regular season in three-point shooting. Bryant. O'Neal is fouled.
And his elbow is drifting to the outside, and he's also pausing throughout the release. During practice yesterday, he made 75% of his free throws. How well he does tonight, I don't know, but he has been working on it.
Well, Shaquille now 2 of 4 at the line. He has 6 points, 6 rebounds. Those strokes look pretty good. Final seconds of the first quarter. Garnett. And time runs out in this first quarter. Garnett looking to draw the foul, looking for the call.
Well, those are the kind of fouls you see Flip Saunders. You're going, now look, if he's a jump shooter, yes. But if he drives the ball in and there's contact with 2 guys, my guy's the MVP. He's got to get some of these calls as well.
High above his head, he really has no chance. It's just like playing by yourself out there for Kevin Garnett.
Medvedenko puts the move on his former teammate and is way off. Able to go to his right against Madsen, and that shot came flying off the mark. Here's Springwell over Malone. Rebounded by Bryant.
I think Medvedenko sometimes thinks he's Vinnie Johnson. He comes in, he's like the microwave. He just lets him fly.
Bryant, oh, beautiful move. Kobe Bryant. And that is his second field goal. He has 6 points in all. Lakers now down by 1. Away from the ball, Sprewell is knocked down by Fox.
You see the Minnesota T-Wolves going a lot here with a big backcourt, a big perimeter with Sam Cassell out of the game. They've taken Derek Mark. They need offensive players on the floor. So now with Sprewell sitting down, you keep Hoiberg and Zerbiak, your best shooters on the floor. So if they double team Garnett, somebody's going to be able to spot up and make some shots.
As Trent Hassel has returned, got the step. Strong move by Hassel, although Medvedenko felt that he was pushed aside.
I know you count on your teammates for support, and Kobe's cheating over because he's that floater out there trying to help on defense, but when the ball does come back to your man, you got to try and get yourself in front of him a little bit. That's too easy.
And with Shaq out of the game, no shot blocking for the Lakers, so Minnesota should continue to drive hard to the basket.
Fox off the fake, goes to the left hand. How about that move by Rick Fox had a tough season. Sat out the first 41 games following surgery on his left foot. He's been playing through a dislocated thumb. He's getting minutes here tonight. Garnett with a shoulder ball maneuver. Oh, what a shot by Kevin Garnett.
Not only did he spin away from his defender, he took on the next defender rotating, had the ball in one hand, took the contact, and still made the shot.
3-point Timberwolf lead. Ryan at the post. And the tip is missed. Malone came up short. Malone again. It counts.
Which is what the players want to know. Now we'll see if this changes as the game goes on.
Garnett with 10 points. Wolves up by 2. Fisher. Look out, Serbiak. Not looking for the pass and then saw it at the last instant. Serbiak draws the foul. It counts! And the foul on Fox.
3 scoring trios in the NBA this season playing against each other. Minnesota with Garnett, Cassell, Sprewell. The Lakers with Bruce Ball. Shaq knew that he didn't put a body on Johnson. He almost gave up that offensive rebound, so he more than made up for it by going after the second opportunity, big and strong.
12 rebounds for Shaquille O'Neal. He now has 8 points.
Defense wants access to the accuser's text messaging records. This is a new one under Colorado case law and federal law, in fact. An AT&T attorney testified in court that it would be a federal offense for AT&T to hand over any records of its clients. A breach of privacy. Will take it up with the judge, and he will. He will examine her text message records line by line in private. Ernie?
Santa Monica Pier. The Los Angeles Lakers have a 45-40 lead on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, the czar, Mike Fratello. Doug, let's start with the Gatorade X Factor in that first half.
Well, the X Factor has been Derek Fisher. He's been terrific off the bench in 13 minutes, 5 of 7 shooting. He has 10 points. He is the Lakers' leading scorer, and he really has given his team a lift. You can see in games 1 through 3, only 8 points. Tonight, 10. He's playing with a ferocity on the floor, and interestingly enough, in the last 9 playoff games against Minnesota, 27 of 42 from the three-point range. Although no threes tonight, he really wears this team out.
As I was talking with Flip Saunders earlier, he said he wanted to see a more assertive Kevin Garnett. Well, 14 shots in the first half, which is a pretty good number, although he is only 5 of 14.
Consider the fact that he's averaging 18 shots a game in the first 3 games. He already 14 in the first half, all 24 minutes. So perhaps because Cassell's gone, he feels he's got to do just that much more to get a win.
Let's take a look at tonight's Jeep game summary. Lakers were shooting right around the 50% mark most of the first half. At the half, 19 of 42. They're 45%. T-Wolves 17 of 45 at 38%.
You know, it continues to happen. The Lakers continue to shoot so much better than teams did during the course of the regular season against this Minnesota defense. They held their opponents to just 42%, which was 4th best in the league. The Lakers going into this game shooting almost 46% in the first 3 games against them.
And once again, just to tag their efficiency ratings on offense, they have 16 assists already on 19 field goals, only 7 total turnovers. So once again, they're approaching that 29 assists, that field goal percentage shooting. And when they do that, they are tough to beat.
Let's go over to Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Marvin, halftime, Kenny Smith mentioned they thought that for the Lakers it was like a walk in the park. They didn't have a playoff intensity. Talked to the coaching staff. They had similar thoughts. They said there's no rhythm out there, and they thought that Minnesota was providing more energy, and they were worried about the fact that they only had a 5-point lead. They were encouraged that Kevin Garnett had played all 24 minutes. They'll continue to try to wear him down with Karl Malone. Cheryl?
Well, Craig, Coach Saunders said for the second half, the 2 areas that they really need to concentrate on. Number 1 is rebounding. Too many offensive board for the Lakers. And number 2, we just need to take our time. We rushed a lot of shots in the first half. Also, Marv, just a quick update on Sam Cassell, who did not play in the first half, should see some minutes in the second.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. Yes, Flip Saunders telling us earlier that he did not expect that Sam would start, coming off the action that he saw in game number 3. He continues to ride the stationary bike, but he said if needed, he will not hesitate to use him in the second half.
Well, the one thing he said, Sam could make shots if he's in a chair. He knows he can do that. It's defending and putting pressure. That's the concern.
And is the game close enough for them to be able to win? They will not put him in a game where there is a 15 or 16 point differential that would do no good. And now Garnett finally getting to the free throw line, his first 2 attempts of the night after the 14 field goal attempts in the first half.
Foul charge to O'Neal for Shaq. It is number 3. Minnesota only 2 of 14 from the field over the last 8.5 minutes.
So much a barometer of Minnesota is Garnett's free throw attempts and the wins. He shoots almost 10 a game, and the losses under 4. And tonight he's being aggressive. I thought he's gone to the basket a couple times. It looked like he's got bumped a little bit, but has not gotten the whistle. He cannot fall into just being the jump shooter. He's got to continue to be aggressive as he was on this play. Maybe he'll start getting to the line, Mike.
And for Garnett, his first points in the last 10 minutes. Lakers now lead at 45-42. Here's Bryant putting behind the back. Slipping it to Malone. Malone rebounded by O'Neal. And there's not much you can do against that power move by Shaquille O'Neal.
I'm going to take the foul before he goes up.
Eric Martin opening at the point. Martin and Hassel in the backcourt. Here's Martin knocking down the three-pointer. So Derek Martin, who missed his first 4 shots, is able to hit for 3.
Well, he could really loosen it up for Kevin Garnett if he could make some shots. That's what Cassell normally does.
Bryant had nowhere to go, had to kick it out. Here is Payton for 3. Rebounded by Bryant.
So those are the shots that Payton was making in the last game. 3-pointers set behind the line. A lot of time to get him off. The athleticism of Bryant following up with the lay-in.
Martin. Well, that was not a good shot. And Payton able to release and score.
Well, when you run at a jump shooter at the 3-point line, you just keep going. No one rotating back. From Minnesota, they've given up 2 offensive rebounds for scores and now a run out on the fast break. So 3 easy baskets for the Lakers to start this period.
Lakers 51, Timberwolves 45. Sprewell. Good job by Hassel to keep it alive, and then Garnett with the tip.
Paul Malone, that leaves Kevin Garnett with Shaquille. There's just no way.
When Shaq catches the ball with a foot in the lane, when he gets that foot in the painted area, you're really not going to be able to defend him. And what he does not bring the ball down low. He pivots and he keeps his arms up high and he turns into you. And the official has to either call the foul on you or him, but there's going to be something that's going to be called on that play.
Well, Shaq is now 5 of 8 at the line, and here are the T-Wolves putting themselves in a position where next foul, they're in the penalty with 8.5 minutes to play in this third quarter. Hassel had nowhere to go. Bryant met by Sprewell. Good job by Sprewell bothering Bryant, who's able to go behind his back, and he's called for a traveling violation.
Trenton Hassel came over a little bit, gave some help, tried to plug that opening as Bryant went past Sprewell, and it winds up Kobe getting the 2-foot takeoff. Here's the split. Now watch. Dribbles picked up, hop. I'm not quite sure that is a travel. In Europe, it's not. I know that. In Europe.
Now, I believe that would be a travel in most areas. Here's Sprewell for 3. And the Lakers continue to dominate off the board. Bryant taking all the way. He was trying to draw the foul. Here comes Sprewell. And the foul on Payton. That's number 3 on Gary Payton.
Here's Kobe trying to find the seam, tries to take it up. He feels that Martin moved underneath him and hit him with the left arm, turns to the official as he comes down the floor and says, call the foul. And we finally see Sam Cassell entering the game for Minnesota.
We see it's a 7-point game, and I think Flip says, you know what, the game is now. Maybe he can come in and do that, make a few shots. He said he could make them sitting in a chair, so Obviously, he knows his player, Mike.
Well, Flip going for the big right-hander out of the bullpen, and Sam never hesitates.
Well, he's a middle reliever. He's not quite the closer here. So
Devin George, right back. Lakers lead by 6.
I mean, how about, it's like a coach calling a timeout, drawing up a play, the team comes out, executes it, gets a basket. He puts Sam in. First thing he does, ball gets to Sam, he knocks down the jump shot.
And the foul on Malone. Malone was trying to draw a charge and hit the floor. You can see Sam Cassell is hobbling.
Well, this is part of the game that's missing without Cassell. That's the pick and roll game that Minnesota likes to use. Malone jumps out hard on him. He doesn't want to give Cassell a look. Cassell with that elbow to protect it, whether it's a trip, whether it's a block, whether it's an offensive foul, you can decide that one.
Lakers with their 4th team foul. Here is Garnett. Beautiful spin. And the Laker lead is down to 4.
I think the guy who's going to benefit most from Sam Cassell being back in the game is Garnett. He's going to make his job easier, not have to work as hard for his points.
O'Neal facing the double. And Jack Neese, the outside official, calling a technical on Phil Jackson. See Jack pointing over at the Laker bench. Apparently Phil had something to say.
You know, Derek Fisher made a great point at halftime to Craig Sager. The pressure is on the Lakers to win this game tonight. They don't have the home court, Marvin, to see Zerbiak make the free throw. If Minnesota wins this game, they steal the home court back. So what looks like right now, everybody thinks the Lakers are so in control of this series. Minnesota's one road win from being right back into the driver's seat with a home court.
And as we mentioned earlier, they have won on the road in the postseason. They've done it twice. They did it at Denver in that first round series, did it at Sacramento. They are an excellent road team. 6.5 remaining in the 3rd. Lakers by 3. Here's Bryant. He's been off, rebounded by Olowokandi. So Kobe Bryant is now 4 for 13.
Now, besides the big team, as Flip Saunders likes to call it, that's when they go to zone. When Cassell comes in the game, because of his liabilities with his back, they'll play a lot of zone then.
Olowokandi not able to hit. Garnett trying to keep it alive. Bryant is on it, pops it down, and a foul is called. And Minnesota is over the limit. Foul on Cassell.
That's a bad foul because you fouled 60 feet away from the basket, nothing happening, and you're going to put Kobe Bryant on the line. Marv, you talked about he's struggling in this period. He's only 4 of 13 for the game. Now you let him get at the free throw line. Is this going to be another technical? Gary Payton gets a technical.
Well, these are bad technical fouls being taken by the off the table as Kobe Bryant is able to drill it from downtown. Lakers now lead by 7.
Minnesota came out, they played zone, the Lakers swung the ball, and Sam Cassell really was the closest guy to make that push over to that area, but he didn't. Zerbiak tried to come out, couldn't get there in time.
Lakers plus 17 rebounding now. How are they even within 7? They're shooting under 39% and being out-rebounded by 17.
Oh, it counts, and the foul! A sensational shot on the reverse by Kobe Bryant.
Look, there aren't too many times you see Karl Malone and Shaquille O'Neal walk over and give somebody a high five. That one deserved it right there. Both big men come right over to him. Both of them acknowledge the fact that that was some shot.
And this is a great timeout by Flip Saunders. This crowd is finally in the game. You've got to use your timeouts to control the surges in the crowd on the road.
A 7-0 run by the Lakers, and Bryant will head to the line. It was a very quiet crowd this past Tuesday night, in contrast to what we heard during the San Antonio series, where it was deafening, and for the first time tonight, as you mentioned, the crowd is into it.
Kobe just trying to make something happen, catching Minnesota in the zone, able to turn the corner and drive baseline. The help comes too late. Just a spectacular shot.
Well, Tuesday night in Game 3, Kobe did not score in the first half, 0 for 2 from the field, and turned it in the second half. The difference tonight, he was looking for a shot in the first half. He was not hitting a shot.
Marv, you think about this. Kobe was 4 of 13 and was struggling, and Cassell fouled him 50 feet away from the basket. They were in the penalty. He made 2 free throws, made a 3, now made a spectacular play, does miss the free throw, but sometimes going to the free throw line is all a scorer needs to get himself going.
That's how he got himself going actually in the last game. If you remember, he made 3 straight free throws and then finally started to hit his field goal.
Garnett, yes. Kevin Garnett comes right back with a gorgeous spin against Karl Malone. Lakers now lead 63-56, just under 5 minutes to play in the third.
And as Doug mentioned, if they're going to play Minnesota through Kevin Garnett, they've got shooters on the floor right now. You've got Cassell, Serbiak, and Sprewell that can all make perimeter shots if the Lakers go double.
Here's O'Neal, and he's Sprewell with the step. And the foul on George. He thought he had a clean block shot.
Well, I'd have to say that was a pretty good call from my angle here, because yes, does he get ball, but he comes over the top of the shoulder. At least that's the way it looks. Penetration, and then from behind, George felt it was a good block. You can't convince him it wasn't.
Anytime you swing that arm down, it's a red flag for the official to call the foul. Anytime you swing it down.
Irvin Johnson, a guy does not get to the line frequently, only a 60% free throw shooter during the regular season. Rushes the free throw.
Well, missed opportunities. You're trying to stay around close. The Lakers are trying to get him a little distance here to finish the period.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Bryant, yes. Well, Kobe is feeling it.
Why is the basketball IQ brilliant?
Did the Czar contribute at all to that conversation?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I said, come on, Flip.
Yes,
I said, come on, Flip. It's time for us to go to bed.
All right, here is Bryant. Yes, and it counts. So Kobe Bryant will head back to the line, and Kobe has taken over in this third quarter.
Dribble penetration through the porous defense that Minnesota is trying to play. And I think the Lakers see right now that if they make a couple passes, put
involved, but you just will not say anything negative about this all.
I'm just the catalyst between you two, that's all.
So Kobe Bryant controls the tip. Just under 2 to go in this third quarter. 13-point Laker lead. Bryant for 3. Nice touch by Sprewell. So the Lakers have the new shot clock. A 17-6 run here by Los Angeles. Sprewell up on Bryant. Rush. Able to hit from downtown, handled by Miller. Sprewell. And Malone fighting for position to get to the basketball.
The Lakers have just quietly worn Minnesota down. Their front line, their power, Malone and Shaq. Just the banging, the inside, the rebounding, just worn them down.
Rush is open again. Kept alive by O'Neal. Nice touch by the wall.
And Shaq was trying to throw a no-look pass. He knew that no one was on Karl Malone behind him. He had 3 black jerseys around him. He tried to throw the pass, but it got deflected.
Plus 21 rebounds now for the Lakers, and that man right there has set the tone. He has 19. The Minnesota team has 24. Again, he doesn't have the big offensive numbers, but his presence inside has been felt dramatically by the Wolves.
Slava Medvedenko has come on for Shaquille O'Neal. Bryant lost it, able to recover, and then lost the dribble. So the T-Wolves get it back. Mark Madsen, Fred Hoiberg come on. We're down to 31 seconds remaining in the third.
That's one of the times where Phil Jackson would like to see the ball passed and moved. And Kobe has to understand it's always going to come back to him. He doesn't have to do it off the dribble all the time. Get it around the horn, go flash it to the low post, they'll find you.
Lakers up by 13. miscommunication on the part of the T-Wolves, so Lakers get it back. 19 seconds to go in this third quarter. Footson is trying to send on Kevin Garnett, and now the substitution is waved off.
They'll go to their open set. Phil gives him that signal, which means he'll put the man in the middle of the floor with the ball that he wants to create, try to beat his man off the dribble. They usually clear one of the wings through and put a shooter in the corner. The idea is if anybody comes to help, that shooter will be wide open in the corner. We'll see who clears through, if it's Karl Malone or if it's Medvedenko.
Final seconds of the third. Bryant able to extend. Kobe Bryant, 16 of the last 19 points for the Lakers. Sprewell gets it off in time. So for Kobe.
Well, and you look up at his score and you say, well, it's only an 11-point game. It's not very big. It is when you're the Lakers and you have a tendency to let down in these situations. So now a chance to push that lead back up to 14.
Foul on Hoiberg. Fisher to the line for the first time. Garrett, hero of Game 5 in San Antonio, now etched in Laker lore. This after a regular season where he shot only 35%. He averaged 7 points. Lost his starting job to Gary Payton. And has handled it extremely well. Kevin Garnett once again. Lakers now lead 78-66.
Coincide with what Doug was saying about Lakers letting you back in. Keep in mind that Minnesota, 5th best in the league at shooting the three-pointer, so they can make up points quickly on you from behind the three-point line.
Medvedenko to O'Neal.
Shaq's got to let you know that was his left hand. He goes, you know what? That's my weak hand, left hand.
Lakers 80, T-Wolves 66. Serbiak, he thought he was fouled. Rebounded by Medvedenko. Medvedenko with the shot. Air ball, and the ball back to Minnesota.
Slava said, look, if I'm going to be a point guard and throw this pass, which leads to the great dunk by Shaquille O'Neal, Slava feels he's got to come back and at least get a shot at the basket. Shaq, letting you know that, is that my left hand that did that? Let me talk to that for a second.
Garnett is held by Medvedenko. Oh, and Medvedenko took a slap at Garnett. That's a technical foul.
Well, Medvedenko's got to know he's not going to get away with that against Kevin Garnett. You know, Karl Malone might get away with a little bit of chippiness, but they're going to stop that immediately. You're never going to let an inferior player against the MVP do that. It's not going to happen. Obviously, he's upset with the foul. He gave him a little nudge.
Serbiak will shoot the technical, so the Lakers pick up their third tee. Earlier, Phil Jackson, Gary Payton called on technicals. Lakers up by 13 points. Kobe Bryant also assessed a technical foul. That's their 4th tee. 9.5 to play in this 4th quarter. Hassel with 1 on the shot clock. Should have taken the shot. He obviously lost sight of the clock.
Good job of making the rotations by the Lakers. They are covered up on those back picks that have been hurting them. They come from the opposite side on the rotation. Whenever somebody is back picked and his man is open on that flare move, the Lakers go into a full rotation with their perimeter people.
Shaq at the high post now being played by Manson. Shot clock to 5. Bryant spinning. And here comes Hassel. It's a 4-on-2. Lakers get back. T-Wolves couldn't find the shot, but Hoiberg does and knocks down a 3. Fred Hoiberg has been reluctant to take the shot. Not that time.
You know, he was so vital in that Sacramento series. He and Hassel, they were the two guys that were helping off of to key in on Garnett. They had big series. Lakers not giving them open shots, and Mike talked about it. Minnesota's capable of shooting the 3, getting back in the game.
And Hoiberg a 44% three-point shooter during the regular season. Bryant for O'Neal. He is triple teamed. It counts. And the foul.
there is the perfect opportunity to take the foul before he goes up and shoot the ball. You had 3 players surrounded. Now foul him. You know he's too close. Don't give him a chance to shoot it and then foul him. You have to put him on the line. Don't give up the 3-point opportunity.
He hits this, it goes to 10. That's how a little shot swings a game back and forth.
Serbiak with the rebound, and then he was stripped. Foul against the Timberwolves. It is on Sprewell, his 3rd.
Sometimes in the game is which coach you wind up asking, but Minnesota normally a 36% 3-point shooting team. Tonight, just 3 for 15, 20%. So is that good Laker defense or just Minnesota having a bad night shooting?
And the Timberwolves are now in the penalty, so Bryant will shoot 2.
Now will we see if Shaq catches the ball in the post, will they start taking fouls? Remember, they have to the 2-minute mark. You can foul off the ball. We saw the other night at the 2:48 mark, they started fouling off the basketball to try to get back into the game. This is where Shaq's free throw shooting could be a factor for the Lakers.
Minutes to play in the 4th. Bryant for 3. Sprewell is met by Payton. Sprewell cannot find the shot. Goes to the crossover. Strip. Garnett. Rebounded by Malone. There's Bryant going at Madsen. And Kobe thought he was fouled, did not get the call.
And he looked at the official who had hit him with the technical earlier in the game and decided it's better right now, but I keep quiet.
13-point Laker lead. Serbiak for 3, yes. And Wally Serbiak continues to do a terrific job off the bench.
They're going to foul off the ball here now. They're going to start it. They got a minute and 2 seconds now to start fouling off the ball. Shaq's free throw shooting on the night. He's done a pretty nice job, 6 of 11.
So Flip Saunders had said to the team after this next possession, if we score, there's Madsen running right up, yelling at the official that I'm going to take a foul.
Remember back in game 3, Madsen was attempting to foul O'Neal,
but he fouled him differently that time, right? Much more emphatic. So there was no question by the official what he wanted to do.
In Shaq's history, these are the most free throws that he has shot in a game. This is when they've gone to the hackers to shoot
3 free throws, and the call was the right call. It was an offensive foul.
Serbiak not able to put it down. Luke Walton just checked in for the first time, and hearing the chants of Luke from this crowd, able to come away with the rebound.
And Shaq is out of the game until under the 2-minute mark, so they can't foul him off the ball.
Bryant over Hassel. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. It's a 13-point Laker lead. Sprewell. Garnett able to sweep it over to Hoiberg. And they have the new shot clock. Pass intended for Serbiak. Able to recover. Good defense here by the Lakers. And the foul is called on Bryant.
Who would he have guarded with this lineup on the floor for Minnesota? It would have been interesting because they just put Madsen back in and took Hassel out. He would have had to guard Garnett down the stretch. That was the only guy possible.
And if you're going to foul, if Shaq catches the ball, it doesn't matter if he's got a small guy on him anyway.
12-point Laker lead. Madsen called for the foul. That time it was not away from the play.
So now he just, because of bonus, he gets to go to the foul line. He gets his 2 attempts rather than 1 free throw for the Lakers and ball back out of bounds.
And that's Shaq's wife, Shawnee, who has been very animated every time Shaq is at the free throw line. Her husband is now 7 of 14 at the line. So the Laker lead is 12, a minute and a half remaining in this fourth quarter. Garnett. Good job by Malone. Garnett had to give it up. Here's Hoiberg taking to the rim.
It's like Kevin Garnett works hard on every possession. The guy is trying to create shots for his teammates, trying to get to the line. This guy has played all but about 30 seconds of the game tonight.
And Doug Garnett just one assist away from a triple-double. 13 rebounds, 9 assists, 25 points. Bryant eluding Sprewell, finding Fisher for 3. Just under 1 minute remaining in the fourth. Hoiberg gives it back, and Garnett with the extra pass. So the ball back to the Lakers.
Payton caught by himself back there, breaks up the fast break, forces the turnover.
Lakers 92, Timberwolves 82, and they're on their feet here at Staples. The Lakers will go to a 3-1 lead in this best-of-7 Western Conference Final Series. Game 5 Saturday night back in the Twin Cities. Fisher has had to fire one up, the shot clock running down. Here's Matson, now Hoiberg. Matson missed the tip. Garnett from three-point territory. Yes. So Kevin Garnett from downtown. The Laker lead is now 7 with only 10 seconds remaining. And the Lakers are hearing it from this crowd. The season will be on the line for the Minnesota Timberwolves come Saturday night back at the Target Center. The Lakers led by Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Derek Fisher, Karl Malone. Bryant with 31 points, 18 coming in the third quarter. O'Neal 19 points, 19 rebounds, 3 block shots. How about Karl Malone? 12 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 assists shy of a triple-double. Derek Fisher off the bench for 15 points. Let's go to Craig with Kobe Bryant.
Well, Kobe, another long travel day that could have had an effect on your body, but how were you mentally and physically?
I feel okay. I feel fine.
You know, at one point in the second half, you seemed to be struggling from the line. We talk about Shaq's missed free throws, but Doug said it's important for you to go to the line. You got fouled by Sam Cassell, made the free throws, then had 16 points in 6 minutes. What effect did that have on you, that foul?
You know, the game was pretty wild. It seemed like it was kind of getting out of hand, so I just told myself just to relax, stay calm, not get caught up in it, just really center myself and focus on putting the ball in the basket.